Hello everybody, I'm Sharkcat87, and this is going to be The Evil Within, New Game Plus any percent. We're just going to jump right into it. I'll select my file, and then Chapter 2, which I'll explain in just a moment, but first, time is going to start after this load screen, so in about 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So, this is The Evil Within. We are starting in Chapter 2. I'm going to skip this cutscene here, and just do a little bit of movement to get over to this door to start off this chapter. So the reason we're starting here is because of a new rule that we have adopted, which is allowing runners to skip the intro of the game, which is Chapter 1. Now, there are some strategies or one or two little cool things you can do in Chapter 1, but it's mostly 10 to 11 minutes of cutscene, skipping cutscenes, or holding W. There's not a lot that goes on. It really is the introduction to the game. So it was decided a little while ago that runners would be allowed to start from Chapter 2. For leaderboard runs, we will start our timer at 10:28, which is around the time runners usually will get in that level. You really don't see much variance there. So you can just start in Chapter 2, start your timer there, and it just gets you on the run way faster, which is great. There is still a little bit of intro, if you want to call it that, for the first minute or so of this level, but then we're really going to start getting into it. So one thing I'll explain as well is you see me punching. So when we have restricted movement like we do now, where we can't sprint, that punch is way faster than the slow walk that we would otherwise have to do. So we do that all throughout the run. There's many different kinds of restricted movement you can get. Sometimes you can't even punch, and there's some ways we can kind of work around that as well, which we'll see later. So here is the sort of upgrade chair. This is the only time we're going to see it in this run. So with this being New Game Plus, we've already upgraded everything that we need to upgrade on our save file. We do have to actually interact with this to progress into the main part of the level, which we will see after we skip this cutscene right here. Alright, so we won't see it for a little bit, but this game within the past few years has changed a lot with zips. So I'll explain in more detail once we get there, but we are going to be doing one in this level in a little bit. But essentially, you are able to launch yourself into the air, which is very, very useful, as you could imagine. So we're going to be using that to save a lot of time. The records come down a ton for this game in the past few years because of that, and it's probably going to continue to do so over time. So we do have stamina in this game. Fortunately, again, being New Game Plus, we have it fully upgraded. You'll see me free aiming here, and the purpose of that is to let us move a little bit faster, because when you're on very low stamina, you move pretty slowly. Like, before it runs out completely, you slow down. You're like really struggling to move, and if you run out completely, which we really want to avoid, you actually stumble over and can't move for several seconds. So when the stamina bar gets low enough, we'll free aim. It lets us do a little bit of a jog instead of, kind of stumbling forward. So we do that when that gets low, wait for stamina to regen, and then we're good. We picked up the lantern, which you technically can skip, but there's not a great setup for it, and doing the entire game without it would be very obnoxious. So we do pick it up. It doesn't take very much time to grab it. It acts as a flashlight, essentially, or as a light source, so that we can see what we're doing, basically. So a little bit about the story. It's a little bit complicated, but essentially we're inside this machine called STEM, and it's an attempt to make this collective consciousness kind of thing, but there is a host, as far as I remember, or one person that's mostly in control. In this case, it's a serial killer, which is really bad, because we are also in STEM with said person. That's Leslie. We'll get more into the story a little bit later as well, because we are going to come up to our first zip in a little bit here. So we're going to get to a section where you need to normally do a little bit of stealth or combat or both to take out some enemies, and then use a crank to open a gate. Now, hopefully, we're going to do a zip over the gate and skip that section. I am going to be grabbing a cutscene, well, a checkpoint specifically, but we have to watch a short little cutscene, grab that checkpoint. And the reason for that is the last checkpoint we had was back when we got the lantern. So if we did not grab that and we were to miss this, we'd probably lose a few minutes and have to go back. So this is just a little bit of a safety net. So we're gonna take this down. And I've been playing on 60 FPS so far. I'm gonna switch to 120 here. So zips are frame rate dependent. The higher the frame rate, the faster you go, the more height you get. And for this one, we want to go very, very far over the whole village section here. So with the setup I'm doing, we're gonna do 120. So we got that checkpoint there. We're gonna hop over here, and I'm gonna do my lineup. That. Okay, let's try that again. So you're gonna see I'm gonna crouch, and then I'm gonna uncrouch while walking into this wheel here. And that uncrouch is what actually gives us the zip. So for whatever reason, when you uncrouch while gaining height, and that was a really good launch actually. So we need to grab this trigger here, this checkpoint. Nice. All right, great start. So now we can just run to the end of the level. So once you uncrouch while gaining height on a small ledge, like for example that wheel, you get launched into the air. So that's a zip, also just called a launch sometimes in the community. But we're going to be doing some weapon wheel launches later, starting in. Well, actually, we're going to do a different skip. So not in chapter 3, but. The way weapon wheel launches work is when you open the weapon wheel, time in the game slows down. And if you slow down time while you're capturing speed on the ledge, you'll get even more speed because you're there longer. So there's some cool stuff we can do. We can go even farther, or we can use that to kind of control the launches we get. So I got a pretty big one there, but usually the zips without the weapon wheel are going to be a bit more restrained, I guess you could call them that. They don't usually go as far. It really depends on the geometry. It's a really geometry-dependent trick in the first place. But usually you won't go that far on those kinds. So we'll usually need to use the weapon wheel. The timing of opening the weapon wheel also affects how all that works. But yeah, we'll get more into that once we get to more of those zips. For now, we're going to do Chapter 3 skip, which is going to involve some slightly different tech. So you get checkpoints in this area based on how many enemies you kill. So we do need to kill at least 3 in order to get the first checkpoint. So make sure that guy's dead. All right, so this is a New Game Plus exclusive trick. I need to make sure I'm on 60 FPS so I don't get blasted into spikes, hopefully. And we're gonna use the rocket launcher to damage boost ourselves backwards at this checkpoint and reload. So if you get over to where I just was and you haven't killed the enemies, you won't get the checkpoint. So it was really important that I killed those enemies first, and then I can hit that trigger. And now we're going to reload, and that gets us past the spike traps. The knockback of the rocket launcher is strong enough to blast us through there before the gate shuts on us. Because normally if you try to run through, it just blocks you, and then you got to go watch the cutscene and do a whole bunch of other stuff. So that is the sadist, or was, I suppose. There we go, just waiting for this cutscene to play out. So normally we would reload here. There's some different strats with real-time runs like we're doing now versus, again, what we do for the leaderboard, which is we do LRT, or load remove time. So with the load screen removed from the time, it's a bit faster to reload there. I believe it's a bit faster to just wait it out like that. But yeah, we got the chainsaw. That's what we need. That lets us break this. Now, this is a bit buggy here because we sort of skipped the things out of order. So the gate is supposed to be closed right now, and then it would open here, but it's actually going to do the opposite, and then we're going to run towards the end, which is going to trigger this cutscene, and you're going to see our 2 characters here just walk through the solid gate before it then opens again. So I guess it's just programmed to, if it's closed, open, or if it's open to close, because it's supposed to shut at one point, you know, and then you cut the chain, it opens, and then it shuts behind you as you go through, but it sort of does the opposite because of how we did that. But yeah, that's Chapter 3 skip. Probably the shortest level in the whole run. Now on to Chapter 4. We've got restricted movement, kind of like we did in Chapter 2. So once I gain control of, I don't think I mentioned Sebastian is the name of the main character. So once we get control of Sebastian again, we're just going to start punching to get some faster movement. Now this is kind of a cool thing. Casually, they kind of expect you to go into this house or this building directly in front of us. You don't actually have to do that though. And you can just progress instead to the next part of the level. It's going to be this building over here. So we're just going to keep punching until we get our normal movement back. And instead of going through the front door, we're also going to take a shortcut by shooting this window and heading in this way.
He's gone down there.
Oh yeah, the doctor. Yeah, sometimes he'll say stuff like, "Don't leave me behind, wait for me." We are not going to wait for him. We'll place this explosive here. And we're actually going to overlap two little dialogue segments at once here. And you'll see I kind of spin around. So an enemy spawns there, but if you put an explosive, it'll kill it and trigger the second part of the dialogue. Which I always find very funny, because then it ends up, "Hey Doc, I think something's coming." I think that's unlikely. Which is true, because nothing's coming anymore. But that's not actually how it's supposed to go. That's not the actual dialogue. That's just a funny result of them overlapping, and it kind of still makes sense. Which I always find pretty funny there. So this is there's the serial killer I was talking about. That's Ruvik, also known as Ruben.
Doctor?
Again, we can get more into the story in a little bit later. For now, we're just going to do some punches to hit another trigger, which will take us to the next fight here. Alright, so we gotta kill the enemies in here, first of all, but to trigger the fight, we need to make our way over to that door over there. So I'm gonna shoot a lever to lower the water here. And then I'm gonna do another free aim here. We'll do that more later as well. You'll be able to see a bit more clearly, but whenever you're wading in water, where it restricts your movement, if you free aim, you gain full movement speed back while in the free aim animation. So it makes running through water way faster. Alright, now we're going to use the crossbow some more here. We're going to use some incendiary bolts. Oh, I did not think that guy was going to... Okay. That's fine. I still got most of them. Okay. Throw another one down just in case. Okay, so he happened to jump over the railing, so my bolt hit him and not the floor. I've never actually seen that before. We're going to use a syringe as well, hopefully during this cutscene. Nice. Okay. Yeah, those incendiary bolts do a ton of damage, even on casual. If I didn't mention already, that's the difficulty we're playing on. It's just the fastest, it's the easiest difficulty. Especially for New Game Plus. It makes sense, because you already have the most powerful weapons and everything in the game. Okay. So, you know, playing on a harder difficulty, I feel like kind of defeats the purpose of New Game Plus. It's cool for New Game, but yeah, in this case, we're just trying to go as fast as possible. That boss as well is called Laura. We'll see her again a few times. In fact, we'll actually see her in the next level. But very scary. Will one-shot us if she touches us, even on this difficulty. So we do need to be careful. She is supposed to chase you here, but if you do enough damage, she'll just go away, and it actually does save time. Here you get, like, this little cutscene kind of that gets skipped up here. This whole part just goes by a little bit faster, and since we have the fully upgraded Magnum, we just do 2 shots, and that makes her go away. On New Game, we wouldn't really have enough resources or want to spend them on doing that, so usually just run away. But for New Game Plus, we can just do that instead. Alright, that's pretty much the end of Chapter 4. To trigger the ending, we need to run down until we see Ruvik, and then just not die, which is pretty easy. You just run back up the stairs. So nothing too crazy, but that will trigger the cutscene that ends the level. I'm going to pick up some ammo. So we don't have infinite ammo. We do have the ammo capacity and the ammo pouches and everything upgraded fully. So we're pretty good on ammo, and we have enough to finish the run. With the crossbow bolts, we can always craft more as well. I'm not too worried about that. I will pick up pistol ammo, though, because we do need... We start with, I think, yeah, 50 shots in the pouch, and then, you know, 12 in the clip. But, yeah, it's not enough for everything that we want to do, so we do need to make sure we pick up a little bit of ammo here and there. There's usually enough on the path. It's not a huge deal, though. Not that we need to worry about it anyway. Alright, yeah, so that's Chapter 4. Gonna be heading into Chapter 5. So immediately, as soon as we start moving, or as soon as the chapter starts, we're gonna begin moving, and that's to manipulate this enemy here. If we're too slow, he'll actually have invulnerability while he's walking here. But instead, we just blast him. So that's an invisible enemy. We blew one up earlier with our explosive, so we didn't get to see it. But they're very annoying. You can't see them until they're basically right on top of you when they're about to grab you or hit you. Or if you hit them, if you deal damage, then they appear briefly. You can see their footsteps and them knocking into stuff, so there's one there. I'm just gonna try to... Oh, okay, that's fine. Get off me. I tried to cut that a little bit too close, that's fine. But we're just trying to ignore them for right now. We need to grab a key card here to unlock a door. There we go. If that guy is knocking on the door, you can kick it in and can knock him out of the way to make sure he's not gonna grab you. That guy also tried to grab me. We're good though. Alright. Coming up here, we're gonna do another set of New Game Plus only tricks with some damage boosts. So we have grenades, and we're going to be using those to try to get out of these rooms a little bit faster. So the way this works is there are 3 rooms you have to go in. You have to solve a little puzzle. There's 2 buttons. If you hit the right one, you get to leave. If you hit the wrong one, you die. So you need to get all 3 correct. Fortunately, it's the same every time, so we already know the solution. But you usually have to wait a little bit before the door to reopen. But what we're going to try to do is hit the button and blast ourselves out before the door can actually close. So hopefully it'll look something like this. Got some lineups for these. There we go, nice. Okay, that's the first one. Alright, here's number 2. Nice, 2 for 2 so far. That's pretty good. All right, and one more here. Oh, that one actually just didn't even hit me. Okay. All right, that's fine. It's not a huge time save. As you can see, the door opens a little bit after anyway. Yeah, there we go. So doing all that opens this door. And then after watching a short little... Well, we're going to skip a cutscene here. But after skipping that, we're going to be introduced to Joseph. So I guess now would be a good time to go over a little bit more of the story. So we're playing as a police officer, and we get called in to investigate some murders, some violence happening at a mental hospital, Beacon. Joseph is one of our partners, along with Kidman. We'll see her a little bit later, coming up here. But they're all entering the facility and trying to figure out what's happening. They're actually in STEM the whole time. It's a whole thing. But yeah, for our purposes, we need to keep Joseph alive. You see, he has a health bar too. So in any level where you have to protect Joseph, if he dies, you also die. So I healed him a little bit, not all the way. You don't have to. It can be a bit safer to go even more. I could have gone less, honestly. I'm not too worried about the fight coming up, but if Joseph does die, you die. So you do need to keep that in mind for some of these sections. And we're going to be coming up to a pretty big fight after climbing up this elevator.
Look.
So we're going to be using a lot of the crossbow. The crossbow is super powerful and versatile because of all the different kinds of bolts that you have. So we've seen the incendiary bolts, the explosive bolts, and I used a flash bolt back there. We have a few different types, other types that we're going to use as well. Although for this fight, the explosive and incendiary are going to be the most useful. They're really, really good, especially the incendiary bolts. They just torch enemies and kill them instantly. It's really, really good. Alright, so there's Kidman in the water tank there. So we're trying to save her by killing all the enemies here and then finding a way to shut off the water. Alright, so first I'm going to switch to explosive bolts, throw one there. I'm gonna throw another one over there. Incendiary bolt there. And I'm gonna use the sniper to take care of hopefully both at once there. Nice. Looking for any stragglers here. And then there should be one over here. Dynamite, there we go, nice. I'm gonna go ahead and craft more bolts. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna put 2 explosive bolts by these entrances. We have a little bit of time to get up here. Oh, I'm going as fast as I can, Kidman, don't worry. We're gonna get a bunch of enemies out of here, so I'm gonna put an incendiary there. And then once they're dead, we're gonna get one more guy over there. That usually gets all of them, but I just want to make sure. Okay, nice. All right, we're gonna get a bunch in this wave. I'm gonna grab some ammo. Oops. Here we go. All right, now you can put a bolt in the doorway, but I'm actually gonna put it like right here. They tend to just not get hit by it if you put it in the doorway. It's really weird. But all right, that should take care of the enemies. So I'm actually gonna get set up for the next zip here. Hold on, so I'm gonna use controller for this particular zip. There we go. Okay. Wait, are they not dead? Oh no, he is okay. Okay, so we are actually going to not help Kidman. Well, we are actually. We're just gonna take a little bit of a faster path. So we climb up onto this ledge, doing a little bit of a glitchy ledge grab. It doesn't really like you doing it, but you are able to climb up if you get the right angle. And then we do a zip over this way, and that gets us up here. And then we're gonna input the code, which is the same every time. Nice. Okay, yeah. So we did help her. We just skipped going all the way around like that. Okay, now this might look a little goofy, but if you mash forward, it's actually faster going through these shimmies rather than holding it the whole time. So that's why I'm doing that there. And here you're gonna get a pretty clear look at how the free aim tech works in water. So when in water, you walk slow, free aim, you move at full speed, like this. And then I just fire a couple shots. The free aim animation only lasts a short period of time. And so by doing the shots there while free aimed, you keep in the animation without it breaking. Oh, just get him. Okay, there we go. Was going for headshots, but missed a couple, so just, yeah, that works. All right, we're gonna stand over here to get Joseph to walk this way, and then back over here for the cutscene. Just speeds this up a little bit. Just manipulating his position here.
It looks like the door's locked from the other side.
Sebastian, maybe we can lift this enough for Kidman to go under and open it from the other side.
We're counting on you.
All right.
All right. So we only have one more section after this for Chapter 5, which is going to be the Laura. Well, we have the Laura boss fight and then one little thing at the end, but we're getting close to the end of the chapter now. So we just have to wait for Kidman to open up the door here.
Let's get going.
And we're going to do some more punches when we get restricted movement here.
We should go.
And we only have to go, I forget the exact point, but it's around here. You only have to go about this far.
Why would they catch you instead of just killing
For this next part to trigger, we just have to wait.
See me as a threat.
He.
There we go for this cutscene. Sebastian lands directly on this rock, by the way, which looks terrible. He's fine, though. Don't worry about it.
Another one of those doors.
Okay, we're going to be very careful on this wire here because the hitbox is deceptively big. And if you touch it, these giant spikes come out and you will die. So we need to be a little bit careful. Okay, so we're going to use an item here along with the Magnum called the Brass Knuckles, which you get for beating Akumu. And they do a lot of damage with melee. So for both phases here, we're gonna do one melee hit with brass knuckles and then one magnum shot, and that should take her out.
Fire seems to work.
And here's the main boss arena, but we're gonna try to do the same thing here. There we go. Oop. Oh. Okay. That's fine. Sometimes it'd be like that. I probably will pick up an extra magnum ammo drop at some point as well. I was probably going to do it anyway, but since we missed a shot or two there, that's fine. The brass knuckles might have not hit. It's a little weird trying to hit them, and sometimes it just kind of doesn't. Well, you won't get the animation you want. So if you're too close to an enemy that is below you, like on the ground, for example, Sebastian will go for a kick instead. And that takes priority over the punch, which is bad because you don't have brass knuckles on your feet, you only have them on your hands. So only the actual fist attack will do the brass knuckle damage, otherwise the kick does almost nothing. So it's a bit weird. You usually want to punch from a farther away so it can't trigger the kick instead. So that's what I tried to do. It might have missed, or maybe the first magnum shot missed. I don't really know. It's just weird sometimes. Alright, so for the last part, we're gonna lay down an electric bolt here, a shock bolt, which will stun enemies, because we're gonna have to stun 3 enemies and then pull plugs out of them, out of the back of their necks. And the shock bolt will hopefully get 2, maybe 3 of them, usually gets at least 2. Otherwise, we just shoot them in the legs so they fall down. And we crouch here as well because you can actually interact with these from farther away while crouched versus standing. So that should get that guy. I can grab him from over there. This guy's not stunned. That happens a lot. Let's grab him. Cool. One quick thing to explain here as well is usually you would get a little bit of a cutscene, but it just goes to the like the chapter clear screen. And the reason for that is kind of like Dead Space 1, actually, the original. You can delete the movie files and from the game directory, and it just won't play them, and it just it skips a few things. It saves a lot of time. Okay, chapter 6. This is one of the big ones. So we're gonna really see a lot of weapon wheel launches in this level, which I guess we haven't actually seen yet up to this point. We're gonna start seeing a lot more though. Also, fun fact. This photograph up here that's going to be blank is usually a movie file, so that's how they achieve the effect of the creature coming out of the photo. It's just going to be blank here. You can actually put whatever you want in these movie files or these slots. I don't think deleting this one actually saves time, but it's just, you know, we just usually just delete them all and, yeah, just to not have to worry about it. Okay, so chapter 6. This is about time I explained how progression in the game works. So each level is its own map file, so you cannot just skip from, you know, one chapter to the next or skip multiple chapters. You have to play each one. You have to trigger the ending of each chapter separately. And within each level, there are certain triggers and checkpoints you need to hit to load things in properly. So, for example, in this level, even though you could, in theory, zip all the way to the end, there are many different individual triggers that we have to hit, so we do need to work around that, but we can still do a lot of tricks within the level to skip from objective to objective. Also, when you get checkpoints, they will usually load things in and sometimes unload other things, which we can use to our advantage. We'll see more of that in the next level, but I wanted to mention there are certain invisible triggers we have to touch as well as checkpoints we have to get in order to beat each level, so that's what we have to sort of route around. Now, the trick coming up here is called cabin skip. So, if you remember the cabin from Resident Evil 4, this game, same director for both games, by the way. This game has a very similar section where it's an auto-scroller in a building where enemies come through the windows, and you have to hold them off for a certain amount of time. We're gonna try to skip that section. It is somewhat difficult. But the worst part about it is you don't get a checkpoint right before it. So if you miss it, you got to go back to the beginning of the chapter, which means we could lose around 4 minutes for each attempt. It sounds really scary. It's been pretty consistent for me recently. So we'll see how it goes. And I am doing a slightly safer version for the first zip because we have to do 2. So we'll see how it goes. It is built into the estimate, time spent doing this, and this is the hardest chapter in the game, at least with the route that I'm doing. With the nature of how these zips work, there are some that are possible that are very fast, but extremely inconsistent, so, you know, again, with zips only being, with them being so new, it's a gradual process of introducing more and more of them into the run. But here we go, we're gonna do a weapon wheel zip to hopefully grab this ledge up here. So again, I do a zip by uncrouching on a ledge while going up it, and then I open the weapon wheel to capture some more speed, but that gets us out of bounds, because interacting with that door will start the cabin sequence, which is what we're trying to avoid. And go through this wall that's not solid. Now we need to hit a trigger on the bottom floor of this building, which is normally where the second phase of the fight would begin. And if we do not touch that, we cannot progress and beat the game. So we'll run over here, hit this invisible trigger, turn around. We're gonna wait here for the level load to change. That's how we know that it worked, just like that. And now we're gonna try to do another zip to get over to the next area. So hopefully this works. That looks pretty good. That looks great, actually. Nice. Okay, we got it. Landing anywhere up here is fine. So we are all set. That's awesome. Fall down here, hit this. Oop, there we go. Fall down here, hit this checkpoint, reload. Okay, nice. Yeah, like I said, this has been really consistent for me recently, which is awesome. It's just a little scary because, again, you can lose so much time. But we need to reload that, so Joseph will teleport back over here because we do need to protect him. We don't want him to die. And we're going to try to do another trick here with the flash bolts. So I actually don't know why, but if you hit these gears, the adjacent boxes here will actually die. Ooh, I missed that one. Hold on, let me see if I can get that again. But ideally, if we hit this gear with a flash bolt, the two on the left will... There we go, nice, okay. The two on the left will die. I'm going to make more flash bolts here while I can. I'm going to trigger this guy again, kill him. Nice. I'm going to kill these guys with a bolt, pull out the rocket launcher, reload. And we get a boss fight here. Oh, you're still alive. That he might grab me. Oh, no, he's dead. Okay. Fire damage killed him. All right, there's another sadist. We're just going to blow him up with the rocket launcher. Very straightforward. And, oh, yeah, good luck with Joseph there. We need him to approach the door there for it to open, and sometimes he kind of lags behind and can just lose you some time, but he's actually cooperating this run pretty well so far. You're supposed to use a match to burn this body here to open up the door. That's why they give you some matches there on the left, but with a fully upgraded harpoon bolt, it will actually deal fire damage and burn that. It just saves a little bit of time, so it's faster to shoot that than watch the match animation. All right, I'm gonna put this explosive on Joseph, which is not, we're not doing it just to be silly. Although it is a bit silly. We're doing this to save Joseph. Which we are actually going to save him, but I'm just putting it in quotes because, I mean, you'll see why. In a second here. But yeah, we're going to go down this bridge, do some punches till we get to this cutscene. Just gotta wait
Okay? I don't like that they used her as bait.
a little bit here for them to finish talking. And for him to cough. We're just going to progress here. So we're going to hit a cutscene trigger. We're going to skip that. And then Joseph will be being dragged by two haunted, or two zombies here. And we saved Joseph. So yeah, that just goes off immediately. We don't have to fire anything else there. So we're going to attempt to skip an auto-scroller here, where Joseph will work on opening a gate by using a crank. So we're going to try to zip over that, basically. Switch to controller here. So I haven't really mentioned so far, but we actually switch between controller and keyboard in the run. You don't have to. A lot of runners actually use just keyboard or just controller. I find using a bit of both is nice, which I can explain again in a bit as well. We're going to try to get back in bounds. So if you're out of bounds, touching an out-of-bounds wall like this, and you take explosive damage like that, it'll actually clip you back in bounds, which is pretty neat. Unfortunately, it does not work the other way around, so you cannot just clip out of bounds with explosives, which would be very useful if that actually worked. So we did a little backtrack here to hit another trigger to load in the cemetery area. That was really nice though. Getting both of those first try is awesome. It's actually a really good chapter 6 so far. Right. So we just make our way over this way. We make sure not to trigger the other cutscene. Like, if we had progressed there, there's a little cutscene with Joseph, and then he goes to start working on the crank. So we make sure that we don't do that, because once the auto-scroller is done, once he's done cranking the door, it'll actually teleport us back over there. So if we were to, you know, go back and do the zip and try to make it to this point, if we didn't make it far enough, we would just get warped all the way back over there, which is obviously slow. But that went great. That was really good.
Elevators. This place can be real.
Yeah, it's a lot of the zips are very feel-based. I think after doing more runs in practice, we've gotten a lot more consistent with it, which is awesome. Oh yeah, so the controller keyboard thing. So there are pros and cons to doing zips on either input method. The nice thing, and actually it's the kind of the same. It's a pro and con at the same time. It's just really the direction you can move in. So on keyboard, obviously, if you just you press W, you move forward. You move forward in a straight line. If you don't move your camera, you'll move in a straight line every single time. So that's nice, because if you change angles or if you move in a different direction slightly, it'll affect how zips work. So in some cases, you want to set up your angle, be very precise, and use keyboard so you move exactly backwards and forwards without changing, the direction you're moving your angle at all. Now on controller, sometimes you do want to not go exactly straight forward. You can hold, slightly up left, up right. And those setups you can't do on keyboard. You'd have to do a slightly different version. To be honest with you, I'm just more comfortable zipping on controller in general, just with how the inputs work. With needing to go directly back, directly forward, hit the weapon wheel, uncrouch, all that stuff. The inputs just feel way more comfortable to me on controller, so a lot of the zips I'll do on controller. General movement I enjoy more on keyboard mouse, especially for combat and things like that. But there are a few zips that I will use keyboard for just to get them a little bit more precise, because they require a more precise lineup. But it's really a preference thing. Like I said, a lot of runners will use just controller, some runners use just keyboard. Some do a little bit of both, like me.
Shit.
Alright, so yeah, we just destroyed that boss fight with the rocket launcher. And now we gotta wait for Joseph to catch up here. I'm gonna grab some more ammo. Alright, I'm gonna purposely not reload because we're going to do something called the reload glitch, which, as you could probably guess, involves reloading. So, after Joseph gets here, I'm gonna pick this up so we can progress. So, if you interact with something while in the reload animation, like for example a lever, the lever will get activated instantly, and you'll get the effect of pulling the lever right away. Sebastian will then do a glitchy version of the animation, which you'll still have to sit through, but the idea is you can use it to pull levers faster. You can also use it to finish multi-input actions very quickly. Like, for example, valves, where you would normally need to sit through an animation of turning it 3 or 4 times. You can reload and spam interact with it really fast, and you can actually finish it in one really quick turn instead of the multiple ones that are really slow. But you're going to see it most with levers in this run, and we're going to do that on 3 of them coming up here. And we're going to attempt to go for a dialogue skip, too. So basically it's a puzzle. We're going to just pull the 3 levers that we need to pull, and Joseph's going to be walking over and looking at some stuff on the wall, basically trying to figure out the solution to the puzzle, as we're doing it. And we want to try to do this as fast as possible, because if we get through the tunnel quick enough after solving the puzzle, then he will not be stuck in place saying a bunch more dialogue, and he should just follow us. So we'll see how that goes. So we're going to do the reload glitch here, just like I said. So we can get rid of these spikes. We're going to stand in front of the lever. Reload, interact. Oh. Ah, okay. that was a little weird. I sort of got it, but not perfectly. Yeah, I wasn't standing directly in front of it. Okay. Do the second one a little better. Just make sure I'm actually right in front of it. There we go. Okay, so the lever flips like that, and he still pulls it. But as soon as the lever moves down, it's considered to be done. So you get the effect immediately. Okay. Wait for the audio cue. Okay, I think I was a little too slow because I messed up that first one, so I don't think... Maybe?
It seems that was correct.
Ah, yeah, okay. So he's going to be a little bit slow. That's fine. Hopefully he catches up and doesn't... Sometimes when he runs down, he'll still walk and stuff. Joseph, what are you doing? Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he's just going to walk. That's fine. Yeah, it can be a bit punishing if you mess it up. If you get it fast enough, he'll just like run down here, but it's fine. He can take his time. Yeah, we're not in a rush or anything, buddy. It's all right. Fortunately, after this level, we will not have to babysit Joseph anymore. So we will be done with that, at least. Hey, listen, you know, we got both those zips first try, so missing that, it's whatever. I'm just glad we got the zips. That's like the big time save. Not having to watch the intro for cabin skip, like, or before cabin skip really sucks. We progress a little bit here, then we come back. Make sure he's following us. There we go. This is just to manipulate him to make sure that he keeps running the entire time and he doesn't just start walking again. But that should be fine. We can just run over to this pressure plate to open this door. And he should be right behind us. There he is. Cool. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and equip the Magnum for another fight here.
Can you get it open?
Fight. You know, a lot of the fights in New Game Plus aren't too complicated. They are very quick though. So for the first phase, we're just gonna do one Magnum shot to the face. We do have to be a little careful though, because if you're too slow, the wolf will just run away here and hide. There we go, got him. Alright, so we're gonna skip this cutscene. Joseph loses his glasses in the fight arena here, and we need to go get them back for him. Again, pretty straightforward. We're just gonna use the Magnum again. Just like that. Pick up the glasses. And that's the fight. We're gonna go back through the shimmy, and that is the end of the chapter up there, that door.
Bad dog.
I'm sorry. It's not just about being unable to see.
Alright, next up, we got maybe my favorite chapter in the run. It's definitely up there. I will say it's the level that got me into running this game in the first place. When I saw the skips,
Jeez,
I was really wanting to try it myself. So if you're like me, having checked the speedrun of this like a very long time ago, it has some tricks, and some of the chapter 3 skips and stuff have been around for a really long time. The first trick we're actually gonna do with a grenade boost has been around for a long time as well. But I remember looking up the run before zips, and it didn't seem like there was a lot of crazy, you know, glitches and skips and things like that, which is cool. It's still a fun speedrun either way. Reload glitch is another thing that's been around for a while too. So like there's some things you could do, but there's a segmented run by Amawolf that's under 2 hours, and it has a lot of like even crazier stuff that's like, you know, not as realistic to pull off in a single segment. You know, where you can just record individual segments over and over again until you finally get it right. But I remembered seeing the big skip in this level and just thinking, man, I really hope that's single segment viable, and it definitely is, which is awesome. But at the time I didn't know that, and I was really hoping that it would be, because I really wanted to try it. So yeah, I'm excited to show that off as well. So we're split up from Joseph. We do not have to worry about babysitting him anymore, like I said, which for us is great. So we're just gonna make our way through this room. Nothing too crazy here. We just gotta get to the other side. Doing some stamina management here.
better start searching for my partners.
Okay, so for this level, we're supposed to grab 3 stone tablets to open up a big crusher that falls down, which we'll see pretty soon. We do need to grab the first one, which is fine because it's directly in our path, and we need to grab it to get rid of, to open up this wall, regardless. I'm gonna try to do something called a crouch punch here, and he just kicks that guy. He usually does. Oh, he kicked him again. Okay, never mind. I'll explain crouch punching again later. There's that kick, like I said. It's kind of annoying when you're trying to get a punch, and they'll do that instead. Anyway, there's an enemy or a boss up there called the Keeper, which is normally where we would be introduced to this enemy as this level. We're gonna skip that, like I alluded to earlier. We do have to put this in though, because that will open up that door on the left. It also opens up the door on the right, but that doesn't really help us out for our purposes. Okay, so just keep in mind those doors are open, and they will stay open now. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab a grenade, and it turns out that the wall in front of us does not extend all the way to the floor. There's a gap, so if we get low enough on the ground, say by falling over after getting damage boosted, we can actually fit through. So we're not even clipping through the wall there, we're actually just fitting through a little gap. We boost through, we get this checkpoint. So I mentioned earlier that checkpoints will load and also deload parts of the level, right? Okay, so now that we've hit that checkpoint, it's deloaded a bunch of stuff behind us, because the game assumes that you've opened up that thing by getting all 3 tablets, and then the path behind you gets closed. Well, we get teleported back up here with this checkpoint, and you'll see the doors open that I walked through, but now the rest of the level's unloaded up here, so we're actually just out of bounds now. And we can set up a zip on this ledge and hopefully land. Oh, nice, that looks great. Okay, we're gonna land on the ceiling of the rest of the level. And now we can climb over some things here. Very fortunate you can actually climb over this stuff, otherwise you would be stuck. And I want to just be careful here, because you can either hit some poison gas or fall off here. Here we go. Alright, so now we're going to damage boost back in bounds. So like I said, explosives can help you clip back in bounds if you're out of bounds. We're gonna ragdoll to the end level trigger, and that is chapter 7. Again, one of my favorite tricks in the whole run. That went really well actually as well. So that's awesome. Alright, now we're going to chapter 8. This level is a little bit more chill, which is nice. Or which is fine, you know. We're just gonna be avoiding some alter egos here. A new enemy type. They've got 2 heads. The monster head has more health, but is the weak spot. If you kill it, they die. We're gonna try to just ignore these enemies. That attack, that again, same director as RE4. The attack that looks exactly like the Las Plagas, you know, parasite thing coming out. We really want to avoid that, because it can insta-kill us on casual, which I learned yesterday, by the way. In my I was doing runs, I got a PB. Which was nice, but I died in chapter 14 to one of those guys, and I didn't know that. So you know, it's cool learning stuff, so we can avoid that in the future. We're gonna definitely try to avoid that this run. But yeah, so when I said this level's more chill, I meant it's just way more straightforward. There's a couple little small zips you can go for to skip some of these things, but they're kind of risky. It's one of those things where you get it, it looks kind of cool, you save like a few seconds, and if you miss it, you die. So we're just gonna try to not deal with that. So here we're gonna get some really small enemies that drop from the ceiling, and they try to hit us while we open up this. We'll use this crank. I'm gonna attempt to put an incendiary bolt here to kill all or most of them, to at least make it less likely. That placement seemed good. Okay, I don't see any of them dropping down. Nice. Oh, that was like one that made it through. Okay. Oh, there's 2. Don't hit me, please. Oh, no way. He hit me right at the end. That's crazy. Okay, I'm going to try to do a reload cancel to actually skip a little bit of this. There we go. You saved a little bit of time. Or a reload glitch, I mean. Wait, where? Oh, he's clipped into this thing? That's crazy. Okay, I can't say that I have seen that happen either. That's ridiculous. Okay, that's fine. So, well, to illustrate my point here, why you want to make sure you try to kill at least most of them, is if you get hit at all before you are done, it will lower all the way back down, and you have to start over, which is very obnoxious. We're gonna do some more free aim here to skip the slow movement in the water. Past more of these guys. Try not to get grabbed by this guy. Here we go. He's not always in the same spot, so you have to just kind of react to where he is. Okay, cool. Alright, that is the majority of the level. We get a cool little puzzle here. We already know the solution, of course. It's very easy once you know what to do. I like this puzzle a lot casually, though. So you see there's a person on the spikes here, and there's a tablet that has 2 sides. And you gotta figure out which side you gotta put in. Again, it's not a super hard puzzle, but I think it's kind of cool. So you got the side that has blood on it. We're gonna put the side that has no blood on it. And we're good. I like the little delay they do there. Waiting to see if you messed up or not. Alright. So that's pretty much the level. We got one little sequence here. We're going to be introduced to another boss, which we'll fight a little bit later, called the Amalgam Alpha. We're also going to lower to 30 FPS for this part. Now, if you ever play this game on Akumu, especially, or Nightmare, the harder difficulties, I also recommend doing that. I mean, 60 is okay, but if you're able to limit your FPS for this part to 30, I'd recommend it, because the cart there you see on the right during that shot, the higher the FPS, the more likely it is to just fly directly in your path and block you and prevent you from getting through this door. And if that happens, you die. And as you can see, this thing is really fast, so if you slow down at all, you are dead. So there we go, we're fine. It's probably fine on 60 as well, but I like to do 30 just to be extra safe, you know? Alright, well that's chapter 8. We're heading into chapter 9, which we will again see more of the Resident Evil influence for sure. So, just with entering the whole mansion and having to, you know, do some puzzles and stuff like that. At the very start though, we're going to be skipping a cutscene, and we're back in the safe haven, which if I haven't really explained before, it's where we started the run, chapter 2. So it's kind of the safe area. You come here to upgrade, you can find some lore, newspapers and stuff. Oh yeah, so we're gonna be mashing crouch here. So if you're not able to punch and you have slowed movement, but you can crouch, mashing crouch is faster than running. So we see that there. We regain sprint here. Jump scare warning on this coming up here. When we interact with this a second time, face that jumps out, so just want to give a warning for that. But we need to do that to trigger the next section so we can actually enter the mansion. Yeah, so there's wanted posters and newspapers in this area. Here's the jump scare right here. So you know it's like lore. When you find keys, you can use those to get to open up these lockers to get items and, you know, gel for upgrading, all that good stuff. But yeah, you do have to return here a few times in the run. This is one of them. All right, now this is kind of a special bit of restricted movement. You only see this, I think, in this part of the game. So you see him kind of vibrating a little bit if I'm mashing crouch. So like you can kind of do that, but it doesn't really speed you up. Like you can't crouch, you can't aim. Once you get to about here, I'm not even touching it. He just walks forward. I can't move the camera or anything. Like you're just locked into this until about here. And then we can actually move normally again. Okay. So this is the Victoriano estate where Ruben or Rubik lived. So a lot of stuff you find in STEM here is jumbled up bits of you know, his memories, as well as other people, of course. But this is where he grew up, and we have to travel through here for this level. So the goal is going to be to get through a big door here. And to do that, we need to do three puzzles. And for one of the puzzles, we also need to solve a second puzzle before getting to that part of it, which requires us to find 2 dials to solve a combination on a safe. But first up, we're going to run over here and do the first puzzle. You just have to stick the needle on the correct section of the brain. It's the same every time. Pretty straightforward. But we're just going to do that. Alright, we're going to reload this checkpoint. I can reset the enemies. Now, the enemies will still be a little bit random. There's some different patterns we can get. Hopefully, we get some favorable ones. It's worth noting that Ruvik will also show up here, but not just in a cutscene, but as an enemy. And we can't kill him. But yeah, but he will kill us though, is what I'm getting at. So we want to be very careful. If we die, it's actually not a huge deal. It's not like an insane time loss, but it is kind of annoying. So we are still going to try to avoid it. There is a pattern he will do that is like pretty much guaranteed to kill us. Although it's a little bit. It's hard to not die if he does one very specific thing. So we're gonna hope that he doesn't do that. So there's the first dial. We're gonna make our way over to the second puzzle. And then on the way to the third one, we're going to grab the other dial. All right, so for this part, we're gonna get pulled backwards and have to shoot a red dot to stop this trap. The bullet spread is insane here. So, oh, that actually worked. Okay, nice. A lot of times if you put the dot directly on it, it just doesn't work after a few tries or until you get very close. Oh, also here, there's a crouch punch. I was trying to do one earlier, but I got that kick instead. So when you crouch during the punch animation, your hitbox still shrinks to crouch size, even though you're punching. So you can actually fit under smaller, fit through shorter gaps like into vents and things like that. Oh wait, that's right. I almost went to the wrong spot. Okay. Okay, here we go. So Ruvik is going to appear here. Or he should appear now. It's on a timer, I believe. So once you're in the mansion for a certain amount of time, he'll show up. We'll see what happens though. Do another crouch punch. So yeah, you get the momentum forward from punching, but you get the hitbox from crouching. So you can fit. You can get into crawl spaces like this a little bit faster. All right. So is he gonna spawn? He hasn't spawned here yet, which is actually good. He should spawn like any second though. Maybe not. You know, I don't always reload that second checkpoint, so that might be why, which is could be a little dicey actually. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit later than we would want. It could be because of the reload. Again, it's a little random too though, so it might be that. This is actually fine because he has to come through the doorway. Oh god. That was a little weird, that little jump he did. Okay, so the scary thing is that he can teleport, right? So he can teleport directly in front of you, potentially, and if you touch him, it's an insta-kill. Again, any difficulty... Oh, there he is. Okay. We're just gonna run this way, actually, because we need to get to this puzzle next. He should disappear pretty soon. Oh my god. That was close. Okay, we're good. Hey, that worked out. Yeah, you just kind of gotta react to what he does. Oh, also on casual, this puzzle just solves itself, which is very silly. It's also very fast, actually. Cool. Okay, so Rubik will not show up again. We'll be too quick to get on another cycle where he appears. So we're just gonna do this last puzzle, and that will end this section. Yeah, I think I haven't been doing the second reload there usually. That's probably why I do it sometimes, but that's probably why he showed up in a different spot. Who knows? We're not dead though. It's very silly though when he kills you, because he just kind of flicks his finger forward and you die. It just looks very silly. Okay, so that opens that up, and now we can progress to the next part. After Ruvik appears again. So here, this is scripted. He won't kill us here, so we don't have to worry. Alright, and there's Ruben as a kid.
No cure for what
We're just getting some background lore on him here.
Peel pristine skin.
Ruvik?
Alright. Yeah, so we'll see a new enemy here. It's this like red particle monster thing that we'll need to avoid. Again, will kill us in one hit if we touch it, so we'll want to avoid that as much as possible. But yeah, we're gonna see that here. It doesn't move very fast here, so it's pretty easy to just run away from. Which we are going to do immediately. Alright, so for this spike room, we can't hit too many of these wires or else the spikes will just fall down and kill us. They are also slowly moving down the whole time. We can just take this path on the left though. We're going to hit this one, which you see lowers the wires a little bit. But we're good. Made it through. Okay, there is a zip you can go for here. I'll try it at least once, because why not? Wait for my camera to... Oh, I might actually have to run forward for it to fix itself. Okay, there we go. Okay. Here's the spot. Okay. Yeah, I usually do it from a checkpoint reload, so I was trying to figure out where I was. Ooh, that's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, so this is Skull Maze skip, as you could guess. Oh, I might actually be dead because of where I landed. Yeah, okay, that's stupid. Okay, so... There's a few different triggers there, and because of the order that I hit them, I got stuck in place. You're supposed to, like, run away. These things crush you. That's silly. Yeah, okay, I'll try it one more time. The maze is, like, very fast to just run through, so this doesn't save a lot of time, but it does look kind of cool, so figured I'd try it at least once or twice here. That might be that's too far. Okay, yeah, let's just go through the maze. It's not a big deal. You get the idea. Unfortunately, you can go too far there, which is what we got in that instance. There's a trigger you need to hit to get to the last part of the level, and we overshot it by a bit. Fortunately for us, we can actually get through this very quickly. If you take this exact path, the gates don't close on you, and you can actually get right to the end and kind of skip a big chunk of it there. There we go. Yeah, so I hit that trigger way, like, a little bit farther back in a weird spot where, yeah, it just killed me. Very silly, but yeah. Like, optimally, you would zip, like, straight into the trigger that I just hit and immediately get to this part. Okay. So we're gonna get to the barn here. We're gonna do a much more consistent zip in here, which hopefully we'll get first try. It's been pretty good recently. I mean, if not, it's very easy to back up. You can do this a little bit sooner than I'm gonna do it, but there is a risk of soft locking and having to redo the skull maze, because that's where our last checkpoint was. So I'm gonna wait out the cutscenes and just skip them, and then we're gonna zip. But the trigger for the fight in here, which we'll need to do to progress to the end of the level, is up there where that window is. Which is active, but again, if we hit it at the wrong time, we could soft lock. So we're just gonna wait here. These little cutscenes to play out. We are gonna zip off this hay later. But yeah, we just gotta wait a little bit. Alright, we got one more. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so you're supposed to turn a few cranks and, you know, get a lift to come down and take you up there, but we're just gonna try to zip off this hay here. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay, so that gets us up to the top floor. We interact with this. We get knocked down. And now we can do this fight. Okay. So the actual particle blood monster doesn't fight you directly. It just spawns a bunch of enemies. So we'll just try to take care of them really quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and craft more of these, since we'll need them anyway. We'll use that to take out a few of them, and then we'll just headshot the rest of them. I'll take the pistol ammo. Nice. That's it. Okay. All right, that's pretty much chapter 9. We just got to run to the end trigger here, and we're on to chapter 10, and we're gonna do another one of my favorite levels in the run. We got a very cool skip right at the start.
To keep your strength up.
My children.
All right. There we go. That is chapter 9. In case I didn't mention already, this game has 15 chapters, and we do have to play them all. We can't, you know, skip multiple chapters, like I said. But we're making good progress here so far. All right, so yeah, the trick at the beginning is called battery skip. Fortunately, you can also skip a lot of ladders by just dropping off like that, which is cool. It's not the skip, but it does save a lot of time.
Ruben. Does he mean
All right.
Ruvik?
So yeah, like the skip implies, you're supposed to grab a battery normally to power some stuff and, you know, do a whole bunch of stuff. It's a really cool section casually, actually, with this like spinning blade you got to avoid with enemies approaching you and all that. But we are going to do another weapon wheel zip to get up onto a ledge that'll let us jump out of bounds. So that should look something like this. There we go. We just kind of rebound all the way across, land on the ceiling, and we can get out of bounds here. I hit another trigger here, which is required to progress, and we're going to try to do another zip to get over to another section out of bounds. So I'm going to do that here. May take a couple tries. So if you're doing a zip without the weapon wheel, it's generally harder to actually initiate one, but once you get it, they're also usually more consistent as well, which is why we're not using weapon wheel on this one, so we can make sure we land. That was really close, actually. Okay, so now we're going to punch down here. If you see me punching off ledges, it avoids a stagger animation where he kind of, you know, grunts and almost trips over. You get that when you're walking over a ledge, the game kind of, you know, preventing you from just walking off. So in that case, when we do want to just walk off, we can punch instead, or aim as well. That usually works. But damage boost back in bounds. That was a little close. I almost went on the other side there. But nice. That gets us. Oh, am I stuck? Ooh. I might be. Oh, I can't. Oh, can I throw grenade? Oh, I should be able to throw grenades like this. Right? I just can't move. Oh, wait. I saw the prompt. Hold on. Okay, so I'm supposed to be like a little more forward here. I didn't know this could happen. Wait, I saw the interact prompt. I can probably grab it. Come on. I can always just redo the skip. It's not a huge deal. Wait. I saw it. Okay, hold on. I can get a bit more forward here. Oh, come on. I know this is possible. Wait. Oh, it was right there. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna try this like for another little bit here. Come on, I know this is possible. This is so silly. Okay, I'm just gonna do the skip again. That's fine. Wow. Okay, that is another new one. I guess it's just marathon luck, really, because I've already seen a few things here that I haven't seen before. But it is also a long run, so you're bound to run into new things every once in a while anyway. Okay, so really quick, we're just gonna zip back up here. I did not know you could get stuck there. That's so silly. Okay. There we go. Alright. Fortunately, the geometry of the ceiling makes that a bit easier as well. It sort of directs you to where you're trying to go. Okay. So we did all that again. Need to get back over here. Okay, yeah, so again, like I said, actually initiating these kind of zips without the weapon wheel is a little bit harder to actually get one, but once you get the zip, it's usually a bit more consistent. So that's why you see it might take a few more tries than the other one to actually get launched, but there we go. That was better. Okay, I'm gonna try to damage back in a little bit further away from that corner just in case. Okay. Yeah, so again, talking about, you know, triggering certain things. If I were to drop back in bounds past that door over there, that's actually past where we're trying to go a little bit later. But again, you know, need to hit certain checkpoints and things to progress. So we do need to hit this one right there. There we go. So interestingly, yeah, you could probably back that up still. I saw the prompt appear, but it was like it only looked for like a few frames maybe. So I'm sure there's a setup to back that up, but whatever, you know, that's fine. Okay. Fortunately, because of how we've progressed through the level, skipping other certain triggers, there's no enemies here. Now, if there were enemies here, it's actually not a big deal. We just put 2 shock bolts down to stun the enemies as they approach us from that direction, and we'd be okay. Also, you can crouch around this. You can do this casually pretty easily, actually. You can just skip that, that lever. And we're going to reload glitch this lever. There we go. So, yeah, we were directly above this area just before this, doing battery skip. But now we can go back through, trigger this part. Alright, and that takes us on to the Laura fight. I'm gonna go ahead and heal here as well, because we were pretty low after the damage boost. Yep, there she is. Now, the first part of the fight is going to be more just getting away from her, trying not to die. And you're going to see a ton of reload glitches here to speed up these lever pulls. Wait. Oh, okay, there we go. I got turned around. Some of the rooms in this area look similar. All right, that was silly. Okay, anyway, we're gonna go ahead and pull this lever, and I'm gonna try to do a zip over these 2 gates here that are rising. If we don't get it, it's not a huge deal, but it does save a little bit of time. I'm gonna do a little rebound there. Nice. Okay, I made it over. Yeah, so like this floor looks almost the same as the one above. Just, some of these areas look kind of similar. All right. We're gonna head through this way. She is still chasing us. She should be pretty far behind us because of the gates still opening. Alright. Yeah, I don't know why. When I was talking about reload glitches, and I think it made me think of this room, and for some reason that made me think I was going into that room. I don't know. It was weird. Okay, there we go. So we shoot that lever to redirect the flames, and also pull this to make the flames start disappearing here. We're gonna try to do a little trick with the freeze bolt here. So when Sebastian can actually get hit by this, and it will deal damage to him, and it will also break you out of different animations. So I'm gonna try to time this so that when Laura appears, he gets stunned, we immediately get hit by the freeze bolt, we get out of it, and then we can move a few seconds faster. Gonna reload glitch this lever. And now we just have to not die while we wait for the flames to disappear here. Fortunately, both the harpoon and incendiary bolts are super good because Laura is weak to fire. So we can just do 2 of those, and that should be enough to get us through here. There we go. Nice. We're gonna run straight for the next lever and do the same thing. Oh, she's fast. Okay. She's not usually that fast there. Okay, we're good. She is really quick. Okay. Got 2 there, should be plenty of time. Okay. That would have been a funny death there. Okay, so we got 3 more levers to shoot for this section. Oh, did Lord despawn? That can happen. I actually don't know why. Oh, she's just gone. Wow, that's actually pretty fast too, because we don't have to shoot her again here. That happened to me in my Akumu playthrough, actually. There's something that happens here that just makes her not spawn. Cool. Well, you're not missing too much. It's pretty much the same thing, rinse and repeat, hitting her with bolts to slow her down so she doesn't kill us. Again, insta-kill, by the way, on any difficulty if she touches you. So, yeah, there we go. That's the Laura fight. So, Yeah, I would have just shot her with a couple more bolts if she had been there. I have no idea what causes that. I wish I knew, because that actually would be faster, because then you don't have to wait to shoot another bolt before going to the lever. And you save on a few bolts, which you can use later, or just skip having to craft more. It's not a huge deal, maybe saves a few seconds overall, but nice, we take those. Alright, so we're almost done with Chapter 10. We have to do the Amalgam Alpha fight now, and that's that big enemy we've been seeing since Chapter 8.
Back here again.
So we're just gonna run through this area, a little more stamina management, and then after skipping a cutscene, we'll be in the area for that fight. We will do that, and then we'll go on to Chapter 11, which is one of the probably the second hardest chapter in the run. Also got some very cool skips though, which I'm excited to show off. But first, we gotta crawl through some more vents, so you're gonna see some more crouch punches to get into them a little bit quicker. And also to fall off this ledge. There we go. Yeah, so they're kind of just teasing the boss fight right now as we make our way over to it. But the fight itself will be pretty straightforward. We need to do enough damage until so it goes into its second phase, which we're gonna use 3 rocket launcher shots the first phase, and then ideally 2 magnum shots for the second phase, and that should kill it. And hopefully we don't miss the magnum shots. If we do, it's actually not a huge deal. We're probably still going to grab the extra magnum ammo anyway. And the next level, just to make sure we have a little bit extra. We also just run directly into him there, which might seem counterintuitive casually, but it triggers that animation a bit faster to get us down here. Alright, so here's our 3 shots. Wait until he's actually vulnerable. There we go. Nice. Alright, I'm just gonna wait for this to open, and then we're good. Okay, so that's Chapter 10. So for Chapter 11, we're going back into the city. And as I mentioned, it is a pretty difficult level, but that means that it has some cool tricks coming up. Right at the start, skip another cutscene, we're gonna be in water, and we're just gonna do some more free aiming to bypass the water movement. Once we're able to actually stand here. Alright, so again, kind of like Chapter 6, the level with cabin skip, there are a lot of specific triggers we have to hit, even though, especially with the level being so open like this, you could just launch straight to the end if you really wanted to. But it won't be loaded, and you'll be stuck, which would be sad. You know? But that being said, we can take a lot of huge shortcuts from one trigger to the next. And hopefully we don't soft lock here. I've only seen it once. It was on a run on PB pace as well. We have PB'd since then, so it's alright. You know, it's not a big deal, but yeah, I entered this shimmy and I just got stuck. And you don't have a checkpoint until right after this. The previous checkpoint is at the beginning of the level, so you gotta spend around a minute or 2 running back. I'm just gonna wait briefly here. I don't know if I got in too early or what, but yeah, we're fine. Yeah, I just got in there and I couldn't move. Couldn't do anything. Just stuck. Have not seen that before or since. Hopefully I don't see it again. But, you know, we'll see. Okay. So here we go. Getting set up. Another weapon wheel launch here. Nice. That building there actually does make this a little more lenient. Oh no. I've never seen this spot before. Am I stuck? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, wait. Wait. Oh, we're good. Okay. I was about to reload and try that again. You really do see a lot of different things with this, with these zips especially, because there's so many different places that you can land that every once in a while you're going to land in a spot you've never seen before, and I can't say I've seen that spot either. But hey, we got backups. That's what I enjoy about a lot of these routes as well, is that there are usually ways to recover situations like that, so it's kind of nice figuring those out, so we know for next time. I really just like to know ahead of time before I go into, you know, PB attempts, like, you know, because in this case, if I have to reload, do that again, it's fine. Not a huge deal. The checkpoint puts us right back where the skip is, but you know, if I'm on pace, I don't have to deal with that. So it's nice to know I can recover that. Okay, so if you played Amnesia: Dark Descent, this part might be kind of familiar. It's pretty similar. There's a water monster, and it is trying to eat us. But if we make noise or throw bodies like that into the water, it'll go eat that first before coming after us. So it's just a little distraction. Pretty straightforward. We'll see it again later. For now, we got another encounter. This one is pretty straightforward. We're going to see a Ruvik clone, which I don't know if we've seen so far in the run yet. They appear much earlier in the game on harder difficulties. We've probably skipped some already that you would normally see. There's some Magnum ammo we're going to pick up just for safety. This should be more than enough ammo now. I might have even had enough before, but I just wanted to grab a little extra. It's just good to grab it for safety, I think. Yeah, here's a Rubik clone. They are scary because those hands that come out, they look like Laura. They kill you instantly, again, on any difficulty. Very fun. So, fortunately for us, though, the Magnum will kill the enemy in one hit, so we don't really have to worry about it there. Alright. So we get pulled back into the safe haven here, briefly. We can't skip this. Well, we can do a very different route through the level and skip it, but it's very inconsistent, so we're opting for a more consistent path. Don't worry though, we're gonna see a lot of cool skips still coming right up here. But yeah, this route does require us to briefly go through the safe haven. It'll pop us right back out where we were. Short little detour. Okay, so first up is garage skip. So we're basically trying to skip some auto scrollers here. I guess the first one isn't really a true auto scroller, but it kind of is. You have to kill waves of enemies and wait for them to come out. And once you defeat them all, it lets you get in through the garage and take the ladder up to the next section. So instead, we're going to try to do a zip off of this corner, this ledge here. Alright, we'll try that again. Just got to get the right angle here. That looks better. There we go. Alright, so we get a lot of height on this one. I should be fine. Usually the wall will catch us, but that's okay. We can get back in here. See, that's the nice thing, is a lot of these zips, even though you get sent in pretty different directions, there's usually a pretty big spot you can land on. The zips that get really annoying are the ones that you have a very small platform or something you have to land on. So, alright, nice. So we hit a trigger there by the ladder, which is required. We're gonna zip across here. That's an interesting spot to land. That works. Okay, so now we're gonna do gondola skip. So yeah, normally you gotta take this gondola across, takes several minutes. And instead, we want to get up and out of bounds in a few different spots that will work. That works great, nice. Okay, first try gondola skip is great. We love to see that. So that gets us over here. We'll crouch punch under there, and we are on the other side. And we can progress there. There's some more Magnum ammo there, but we should have enough, so I'm going to skip it. Alright, nice. Now we're on to the next section. And that gondola skip is something I added in a little while ago. I think it's the newest trick I've added in my route that I do, and it's so nice. I personally love skipping auto-scrollers. It's just a very satisfying thing for me. You know, it's a cool section of the game, don't get me wrong, but, you know, especially on repeated playthroughs, auto-scrollers can be a little annoying. So, I find a lot of satisfaction in skipping that particular part. Plus, it looks really cool. It's just very fun to pull off in general. So, we can make this jump onto this, this thing here, and, I was like, this bus, I guess, yeah. And it looks kind of funny if you look down. You'll see it actually move around, and it clips into your feet here. But we're just waiting for this gate to open. Gonna wait a little more. Should be good. Now, this will look scary. I promise it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. All right. So if you go far enough, it'll actually just disappear. And same thing's gonna happen up here. We do want to make sure we don't die here because from the checkpoint, it's actually different. And it's a little bit harder to get through. But it's going to also look very scary again here. But I promise everything is fine. Everything is fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. Yeah, no. We're not really in danger there as long as we move fast enough. It just looks really scary. Okay, we're going to wait for the beep. Shoot that and go. And that'll distract the enemy. And give us enough time to get through here. Just like that. Alright, so yeah, we're running up to meet up with Kidman again, who we haven't seen in a while here. And we got to take out all the enemies first before she'll come inside. So we're going to quick explosive bolt there, and pistol the last one or two. There we go. Oh, you're still alive. Alright, that works. Wait, is there one more? Oh, you survived. How did so many survive that? That's so weird.
You hadn't come along.
So I'm just standing still here because there's a little scripted sequence where it forces you to run over here. Like you see, I'm not holding anything. He just runs over. But we do regain control here-ish. Right there. Okay, so then we can move. Now, unlike Joseph, Kidman can hold her own a bit better and does not have a health bar, so we don't need to protect her. Don't need to worry about her taking damage. So we can just run away. And she'll just catch up here once we get down here. Play some dialogue.
Ever since the church,
You were at the church?
yeah, Joseph and I. He's in bad shape, or at least he
Alright.
was when I last saw him.
So up there is the factory. That's where we're heading next.
I found him in a cage.
It's an interesting area where, well, I mean, again, all this stuff is very twisted. It's all, you know, dreamlike, almost hallucinations all over, just weird things that don't make sense. So it's a factory that has a bunch of mannequin parts and also flammable gas.
Turning into one of those.
I don't know why.
It doesn't affect everybody.
But the gimmick, the whole mechanic is that if you fire or shoot any weapons, the gas ignites and you die. It's actually very funny because you just shoot, it immediately cuts outside and then it explodes. Love it. Very funny. But we're gonna try to avoid that if possible. It's pretty simple to do so, especially on this difficulty at least. We just need to run through, grab a key card, and use it, and then get out. It might look a little scary because I am actually going to free aim for stamina management while we're in the factory, but as long as I don't press the button again, we should be fine.
Wait, what are you talking
So for this part, we just gotta wait a little bit. We are now separated from Kidman, and we're gonna wait for Leslie to open this door for us, which he should be doing in a second here.
Get it open.
Leslie? Leslie, is that you?
There we go. I guess I can explain a little bit more of the story here as well, since it's been a while since we went over that. So Leslie is a patient at the mental hospital at Beacon, and basically they're using him to experiment with STEM to try to find... They were trying to find someone who would be compatible to sort of be the host, you know? Which he is. And Ruvik, against the wishes of Mobius, who's the organization that was sort of funding the whole project, They didn't want Ruvik to be, or Ruben to be in control. He's called Ruvik once he's actually sort of in the machine. It's sort of, you know, they basically kill him and take his brain and use it to use, like, to make STEM work. Because they sort of had a disagreement and didn't want him to be in charge running it. You know, Mobius just wants to kind of take it over. So they want Leslie to, you know, keep STEM. I think, actually, I'm trying to remember. They were using Leslie to experiment. You know, okay, I'm not going to try to go into too much detail. I don't want to get it, like, super wrong. But I do know that Ruvik is trying to use Leslie and escape from STEM while taking over his body. And we're trying to get him back so that doesn't happen. All right, so we're heading up towards Joseph now. We're at the end of the level, and we're gonna be entering not exactly my favorite level, but it's all right. So it's called The Ride, Chapter 12. It's mostly an auto scroller. There is some stuff we can do at the end, including a zip to skip some combat at the end. But yeah, that's Chapter 11. That went really well overall. Very happy with both how Chapter 6 and Chapter 11 went. Those are definitely the hardest levels. Yeah, so here's the part where we can chill a little bit, but we do want to also make sure we don't use up too much ammo. We do need to fight this boss called Heresy. This big spider-looking thing. This guy right here. We are going to use the Magnum to speed this up. I said most of this is an auto-scroller. I'm pretty sure you do need to actually deal damage to him to progress here, though. Like, you can lose time on it, is what I'm saying. So we're going to open up with a Magnum shot and then some pistol rounds. Once he spawns in these worm things, we do have to kill them as well, which also gives us some ammo, which is neat. That should be good for now. He'll run away. I'll pick up the extra ammo and stuff. Good on syringes. That's shotgun ammo, which we don't need. We're doing great on pistol ammo, so we're fine there. I probably don't even need this much ammo for the rest of the game, but it's nice to have at least. Take our time to reload. What's the next bolt we need? I try to queue these up when possible if I can remember. We don't need the crossbow for this level actually. So what do we need? It's gonna be this, I think. Chapter 13, yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is the main part of the auto scroller, I would say. And fun fact, you do not actually need to kill any of the enemies here, I don't think, at all. You just need to wait, and eventually, yeah, they just kind of kick over this box this box as well, which doesn't really make any sense, but it does give you some ammo. Like, I mean, that's why they do it, but I mean, why the enemies would do that, I don't know. Yeah, so an enemy's gonna spawn over there. After a while, Joseph will say something like, "I got it," and then after another little while, he'll shoot at them, which triggers another cutscene, which we'll see in a little bit. But otherwise, we just gotta wait. We just gotta chill for a little bit. Let's see. Trying to think of anything else we haven't explained yet in the run. There are a lot of other weapons. Like, that's some shotgun ammo there. We do have the shotgun. The only reason we don't really use it, or the main reason, is because even though we have all these other weapons on the weapon wheel, as you can see here, you can only have 4 weapons you can quick select to. So I have the weapons we use the most, and you do see me using the weapon wheel to toggle to other things like grenades and the rocket launcher mostly. But otherwise, you don't really need to switch to other weapons. Like, the shotgun is good, the machine gun's good too, you know, but there's not much of a need to do that. Like, in this situation, any weapon we use is fine. I mean, we want to avoid using the Magnum, I guess, because we don't want to, you know, waste all the ammo for it. We usually use that for very specific things, mostly boss fights, things like that. Or even, you know, the brass knuckles, like I said, you can just, I mean, you just put away your weapon and then you punch and then you have that out. You don't actually need to select it either. So, yeah, that's basically the thought that goes into the routing here. You could, instead of using the sniper rifle here, you could have a different weapon here. There is a different sniper rifle as well you could use. Again, on New Game Plus, it doesn't really matter that much because your weapons deal so much damage anyway. But that's just kind of the thought that goes into routing what you use here. I mean, the crossbow and the revolver and the Magnum, really, you definitely want. So, yeah. All I'm saying is you might see other runners use a different 4th weapon. I like the sniper, so I use that. it is good for a lot of stuff. So, yeah. All right, we're just gonna chill here for the rest of this. I think that actually is all the enemies. But I guess a tip, you know, if you do a Kumu, this is what I did. You kill enough of the enemies, and you can actually just wait here, and this thing protects you from a lot of the enemies. You just want to make sure that they can't throw Molotovs or snipe you from here. Yeah, unfortunately, there is no way to speed this up. You can get off the bus at different points by zipping, but oh, also, this might have been kind of silly. Yeah, I think it was that vehicle I jumped on. I think it was a van. I was like, I don't know why that word escaped me for a moment, but I was like, this bus? I guess it's a bus. I think a van would be better. Doesn't matter. Anyway, just kind of a random thought. But yeah, so there's the guy there that Joseph shot him. There's the cutscene. That'll blow up that truck there to get us out of the way, or to get it out of our way, so we can progress here.
That was a close one.
That was close, yeah. You said it. I mean, I guess it's pretty far away. I don't really think it's that close. Okay, so now here comes round 2 with Heresy. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the Magnum again. You can kind of just stand inside of Joseph here too, which is sort of funny as well. Oh yeah, this corner is a bit buggy as well. If you walk into it, sometimes it'll like launch you away. I think it's only when you're running, I guess. Alright, so same deal. Magnum, pistol, take out the worms. We're gonna do it a second time here though. I also like looking down here. You see Sebastian just not rotating with this thing as well. Cool. Wait, is that Magnum ammo? I think it was. Wow, I don't know what the odds of that are. I think it was only one bullet, but wow, okay. I mean, hey, like I said, we take those. Oh yeah, there you go. It kind of like pushes you away sometimes, like that. It's kind of silly. You gotta find things to keep yourself entertained, doing this part over and over again, you know. All right, yeah, that's the majority of the level. That is the whole auto scroller done, thankfully. Now, like I said, there actually is a skip in this level. So Joseph gets shot here, and in this last section, just fortunately, there's an ambulance right here with medical supplies in it. So we need to run over there, grab the first aid pack, or whatever it's called, and then come back. Alright, so you can also just jump over, or vault over the front of this bus here instead of... Oh, stuck! I'll just go around, that's fine. Oh god, okay. Alright, yeah, sometimes that guy will shoot you, it's fine. I wasn't sure where he was going to be because I went around that way because I got a little bit stuck. Okay. That's fine. So the dynamite, it's not a big deal. Okay, so there we go. We got past all those enemies there. Climb up here. Grab this. Okay, so the hemostatic, that's what it's called, right? Okay. So we're going to reload this checkpoint, which will despawn those enemies. We're going to go to 30 FPS so we don't get launched too far here. And now we're going to do another weapon wheel launch. Off this ledge, hopefully. That looks good enough. Nice. Okay, pretty good one. We're skipping a trigger here that skips the like Humvee truck thing from coming out with the machine gun turret on the back. And gets us straight over to the bus. Now, ideally, you could get launched right over to the bus. Usually it's a bit better at 60 FPS if you're going to do that. But I like to play it safe there because usually at higher FPS is a good shot, or a good chance that you will get sent somewhere where you just get stuck out of bounds and can't recover it. Shit. But that's pretty consistent there. Alright, and now we're almost done with the ride. We just gotta do this last driving section. We actually get to play as a Kidman here driving the bus. Now we're gonna do something kind of silly here. If you go into the wall here, you don't keep holding right, it won't correct you back onto the path. And we're kind of clipped into the side here. You see we're kind of going through some of the concrete barriers and these light poles. Very good if you're trying to get the achievement where you don't hit any of the enemies, although it's a little silly because most of the time you'll just hit an enemy before you even gain control of the bus, which is obviously kind of unfair. It's a little silly, but if you manage to get past that, if you just do that, it makes it very easy. Okay, awesome. We only got 3 levels left. We're entering chapter 13. So we are with Joseph again. We don't have to protect him this time, though. We're gonna get separated very soon here. Kidman's also off somewhere else doing the rest of her DLC campaign right now in the hotel. Which, I guess that's something I haven't talked about yet. So there are DLC campaigns for this game. 2 of them with Kidman. Her movement is pretty similar to Sebastian's. Her stamina is way worse, though, and you can't upgrade it. So that's fun to deal with. And she can zip, though, with uncrouching, very similar to the way Sebastian does it. It's a bit more limited, though, because she does not have a weapon wheel. So you cannot do weapon wheel launches, but you can do regular zips. And you can still skip stuff with that. It's just you don't have as many options with that.
What could cause this much damage? Is that a subway sticking out of the ground?
Yeah, but look how it's positioned.
Yeah, so the goal here, story-wise, is to get back to Beacon
Just concentrate on getting
and try to escape from STEM. So our goal for this chapter and the next one is basically to finish getting through the city here, making it over there, and then the last chapter is going to be back in Beacon. Doing some more crouch spam to move a little faster there. Now we're separated from Joseph.
No.
Oh no. Nah, Joseph's a cool character. It's just, you know, obviously the sections where we have to protect him are going to be a little bit more annoying, at least for the speedrun anyway, so it's kind of nice not having to do that. Alright, so now that we're finally back on our own, we can just make our way through the hotel as Sebastian.
Damn it. First Kidman, now.
And we're finally going to see some keepers. We saw one back in chapter 7, but we skipped the whole section where we had to fight them. So there's one right there. We are going to fight some of them. But before that, we got to get through some enemies. You already saw me disarm one acid trap. That's a new thing they introduced in this level. It is an insta-kill. You see one there. We do not want to run through that. So we're going to run around this one. We're going to do some stamina management. Switch back to the crossbow. So shock bolt there. Flash bolt here. That should stun all the enemies that could come and hit us here. While we disarm this acid trap. And moving on. These are traps placed by keepers, so we're gonna get rid of these 2. And then we usually should have enough time to just disarm this by the time the keeper gets over here. I don't know if this is true, but I think looking at him actually makes him move a little slower there. One time I did not look at him, and he actually hit me there. He caught up to me. But it was late enough that I had already finished disarming the trap, so it was all good. But I don't know. That's my theory, is that he will move faster towards you if you're not looking at him. I don't know if that's actually true, but it might be. Alright, so this is a safe haven skip. We're going to skip a trip to the safe haven by going out of bounds there. Be careful here, because you can dodge some triggers on accident here. That looks good, I think. Okay. Usually you want to hit the wall as you're falling down, or that's what I aim for. I don't know if that's actually required. This should be fine, though. You can run into a weird issue where some of the visuals won't spawn. Well, usually a lot of this is deloaded, but sometimes even more of it won't spawn, even after reloading. This seems like it'll be fine, though. Yeah, you see that thing floating there? Some of the textures aren't loaded. This entire room is supposed to be full of stuff, but it's empty. You'll see it makes this cutscene look kind of goofy. This seems fine. As long as we get the checkpoint, I think we'll be all right. If not, we'll just go back and do it again. Not a huge deal. Actually, it looks like we might be getting what I got yesterday in my run, where well, we'll see. Once I reloaded, none of the textures and things really loaded in this room. We'll see what happens, though. I'm pretty sure as long as you get the checkpoint, you're able to progress, though. Should be fine. Yeah, I did get this again. Okay, so I must have done the same thing. Weird. That's fine, though. This should still work. It almost actually makes it easier to see getting through here, because you can kind of see exactly where you're going. With the traps outlining it, at least. But yeah, so that's why this isn't loaded correctly. I must have dodged a trigger out of bounds, but shouldn't be a big deal. Hopefully this Roomba doesn't kill me. Doesn't hit me, I mean. Cancel the animation. Okay, we're good. Alright, I'm gonna skip that ammo drop. I don't think we'll need it. Yeah, these things all seem to be playing out correctly. This is actually exactly what happened to me in my PB, so I'm very confident this will be fine. I mean, worst case, if we were soft locked, this is the very end of the chapter, and we could always just... I mean, we could always select chapter 14, but that's only if we were actually soft locked, but this seems to be working fine. He's dead, there we go. Magnum's broken. That we can get in here. The higher the difficulty, the more keepers you have to kill there. I want to say on a Kumu, it's like 3. Or more, I forget the exact number, but yeah, on casual it's only 1. Now we just gotta wait here. Yes, you really do just have to wait on a black screen here, but it will eventually start moving again, the dumbwaiter I mean, and we'll be able to get out of here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Alright. So we're just about done with this level. We just gotta open one more door at the bottom of these stairs, and that'll be it. And yeah, on to chapter 14. We're pretty close to the end of this run. Well, at least in the terms of the number of levels. The last level is one of the longer ones, but... Oops, don't want to save. There we go. Okay. Alright, chapter 14, here we go. Yeah, so we've made it to the subway area. After all those cutscenes and everything we skipped. Like they were saying in the cutscene before, the goal is to cross that path of subway trains connecting over towards Beacon. So we're just like the last level, we're just still trying to make it over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain a funny thing we're gonna be doing coming up here in a little bit. So you might have seen already, there's these bombs. They kind of start beeping when you get close to them, and if you're close to them for too long, they explode. But if you're crouching, they will not go off, because the whole thing is you're supposed to, you know, crouch up to them, try to disarm them, right? Or just sneak past them. Well, if you try to open up this shutter door, you'll get blown up. You take too long and it blows you up, right? Well, if you hold crouch, right? If I let go, it starts beeping, let go. There we go. You can kind of mess with it a little bit there. But yeah, even though you're in that animation, if you press crouch, you even see the camera kind of go down. Like it happens here too. So the game will consider you to be crouched. You hold it there during that cutscene. So that's actually how you're able to avoid getting blown up there, and you can kind of just avoid the enemies as well. I'm gonna do a jump onto this beam to avoid some more explosives and some water movement. Gonna get rid of these bear traps so we don't get stuck on them. Gonna take out that explosive there. And then we're free to just run around the rest of these without getting hit. Okay. I think we have extra Magnum ammo, so I'm actually going to use that on this guy because he can get in the way here. We got to hit this trigger to load this part of the level. Again, just using the flame upgrade on the harpoon bolt to burn these obstacles instead of using matches because the animation's a bit faster. We got some more alter egos here. We're just gonna, I was trying to vault over that, but I ran out of stamina. A weird moment, a bit of a weird interaction. All right, we're gonna try to crouch punch under these sparks. Oop, I stood up a little too early, that's fine. Okay, same deal here. Go. Just gotta run forward far enough to get this guy to spawn. So free aiming on the water is gonna be really good here. This guy's just gonna despawn because we're going fast enough here that we're able to see that. And we're actually able to, with our faster movement, get past these sparks. You're supposed to normally try to disable the tripwire, otherwise you get stuck with those sparks there, but you're able to just move so fast there, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're gonna try to reload here and then reload glitch this valve, so we basically finish it instantly instead of having to do all those quick turn or slow turns. That's what I was talking about earlier. The reload glitch stuff, crouch punches, and we're gonna try to do that again on another set of, or another valve with another set of enemies coming up. And use our last harpoon bolt here as well to take out this obstacle in the way. Alright, there we go.
Shit. I've got to be more careful.
Alright. So we're gonna grab this circuit to get rid of the electricity. And that lets us get to that valve over there, which we're gonna need to interact with. So same thing, we're just gonna put a shock bolt down as well. So these alter egos won't kill us or hit us while we're trying to do the valve. Alright, so just line ourselves up, reload. Oh, I didn't reload first, that's right. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna back this up. Just gonna make sure we put another bolt. I might die here. This is like almost the same exact thing that happened to my PV. Hopefully these guys don't transform. We're good. Okay, nice. Yeah, they can do that after taking damage there, I believe, and very not good if that happens. Okay. So we're coming up on another boss here, Quell. We only see in this chapter. So I shot that flash bolt because Quell is above us on a little like shaft kind of thing, and we'll go for a grab. But if you shoot a flash bolt there, it'll actually make Quell disappear, so it skips having to do that little almost quick time event sort of thing.
Damn it.
All right.
Am I an electrician?
Yeah, so we gotta fix the elevator here, but we get interrupted by Quell, this boss, who we're only gonna see very briefly here. Again, with New Game Plus, we're gonna take him out very quickly. So it's just gonna be a freeze bolt to make sure he stays in place, and 3 magnum shots to the face, and that'll kill him. One, 2, 3, he's dead. Nice. Here we go. Cool. All right, now we're heading up to the top here, basically at the end of this chapter. We're gonna try to use our last freeze bolt to do another animation skip, kind of like we did during Allura boss fight. All right. And then we're gonna have another sequence that we did see earlier. It's basically exactly the same. Of course, we'll explain that when we get there. So we're gonna get some pretty slowed movement here, so we're gonna want to punch pretty much the whole way through the train until we get our movement back. We're gonna try to do a few punches, then switch to the crossbow here for a little animation stagger skip, hopefully. There we go, nice. So it just saves a few seconds there. Skipping that stagger animation, very nice. Cool. All right, so after this little cutscene, we get full sprint back, so we're just gonna run all the way across. This is that connection of subway trains linked together that's taking us to Beacon, so we're basically gonna be pretty much there after this. Yeah, so the end of chapter 14 is gonna be basically like the end of chapter 5, where we have this section where these bathtubs are all connected together, and some enemies are gonna come out and we gotta pull the plugs out of the back of their necks. It's basically identical, we just have to wait through this little scene here.
You've published my research in your name again.
So I'll while we have time, I'll grab this. Oh wait, this is the shotgun ammo, right? No, that's pistol ammo. Okay, yeah. I don't need it, but I mean, might as well grab it, I guess.
Oh, but they will know. I have surpassed you in every way you
Yeah, I can't even crouch here. So yeah, your only option is to move like this. Doesn't really matter though. We just gotta wait right here. So yeah, this is supposed to be a stem machine. That's how they connect you. They put you in these bathtub things, little plug in the back of your neck, back of your head, whatever. Yeah, so this is supposed to be the scene where, because this doctor guy, we saw him briefly before. We didn't really talk about him too much. He's actually dead by this point, but he was working with Ruben, and this is the point when they capture him. You know, take his brain and use it to power stem.
Trying to make me feel sorry for you.
Yeah, so there we go. So now we just got these last few enemies here. I'm gonna throw down our last shock bolt. And rinse and repeat the same strategy from before. And again, the crouching thing is just a small optimization. It lets you grab them from a little further away. We actually got all three this time. Nice. Yeah, you said like teleport. It's a huge grab range. All right, awesome. So that is going to take us into the last level of the run, which is going to be chapter 15. Cool. So at the beginning here, we're going to, well, again, skip a cutscene like we do in a lot of these levels. And then after that, do some more punch movement. So I'm going to try to do a small little time save, I guess a skip if you want to call it that. So we got to progress into the next room on the right. And then after you go far enough, after a few seconds, the door is going to slam shut behind us. But if you're fast enough, you can actually make it back through there, and it skips just having to wait for it to reopen.
Nobody here at all?
There we go. Alright, so yeah, I see it's shut behind us, but we already made it through.
Losing our minds. Losing our minds.
There we go. Okay, so we just gotta chase Leslie for these few sections. Nothing too crazy. I can go ahead and start talking about the end of the game, at least, though. So we've got 2 skips left, and then a boss fight.
This way.
So yeah, like I said, 2 more zips. I am gonna grab a safety checkpoint for the first one. It's honestly not that hard, but there are some weird things that can happen. I'm actually not even afraid of the zip. It's just we gotta do one more explosive damage boost to clip back and bounds, and I have seen some examples of Sebastian getting knocked off the ceiling but not in bounds, and you just get stuck and then you gotta reload, and it's really bad because you get sent very, very far back. It's very similar to cabin skip or even the first skip in the game, where there's no if you just do the skip without grabbing a checkpoint first, it will send you minutes back. Now, I don't think I'm gonna miss it, and we're on great pace so far. So even if I did have to run back, I think we'd still be fine with the estimate and everything. But we're not leaving things to chance, is all I'm saying.
This way.
It's going to come down.
Cool. All right. So after this, we're gonna be outside the front of Beacon, and we're gonna get that checkpoint. And that's the one I'm talking about. If this is the checkpoint that we would get sent back to. Fortunately, there is, like, unlike cabin skip, there is a safety checkpoint you can grab that does not lose very much time. So I am gonna do that. Also, yeah, looking at my ammo count again. Yeah, we have way more pistol ammo than we need. In fact, we almost don't even need any ammo at this point. So the final boss does not require you to shoot it with normal weapons. It's all weapons given to you.
Just like Joseph's.
Like a machine gun, a rocket launcher, all that stuff. So it's all provided for you there. You don't have to already have it. So normally, in a regular playthrough, all of your ammo would be spent on a fight called the Gauntlet. Now, as you could probably guess, we are going to skip the gauntlet, or at least attempt to skip most of it. It just depends on where we land. So we'll see what we get. I actually learned a new backup yesterday, again during a run, seeing a launch I'd never quite seen before. So if we get that, I will be able to back it up pretty quick now that I know what to do. But yeah, just got a little bit more running here. I'm gonna actually head back into some areas that we would have seen in Chapter 1, which again we did skip for this run. Drop down this whole ladder. I always love dropping down all these ladders. It's very satisfying because you move down them very slowly normally. Oops, there we go. Yeah, sometimes if you ever see that, I think that's the first time that's happened in the run, is me just punching kind of randomly there once. That's because the input for free aim is the same for... it'll give you a punch if you don't have a weapon out, basically. So sometimes if you don't have your weapon equipped, you'll get that instead. Alright, just a little bit left to go after these doors. Again, we're just gonna do a little bit of punch movement. Same as always, it just lets you move a little bit faster. 5 punches.
Leslie.
You good? There we go. Lots of stairs and elevators in this level. We're gonna see it anyway, but yeah, Sebastian even makes a comment, something like, you know, if I make it out of here, I'm never riding one of these elevators again. Okay, we're just about to or not gauntlet skip, the trick before gauntlet skip. Okay, here we go. So after running through here, we're gonna skip a cutscene out here in the courtyard. Okay. So we're gonna zip near these hedges here, but I'm gonna grab this checkpoint through these double doors. There we go, and we're gonna immediately head back outside. Do a zip off these, off this curb here. There we go. Wait, almost. It looked like it was going to be good. There we go. Okay, okay. Again, those zips are harder to initiate, but fortunately they were pretty consistent once you get them. Damage boost back in bounds. Yeah, you got knocked to the side a little bit. If you fall outside here, you're just stuck. So that's what we would have needed that checkpoint for. Okay, awesome though. We got it. So last big skip of the game. This is the gauntlet. So ideally, we need to at least get over those spikes in front of us, where those double doors are. If we make it at least over those, we're good. Ideally, we want to make it all the way up to the next set of double doors to skip the entire section. But if we make it at least halfway, we only have to kill 4 enemies, which we can do very easily and pretty quickly to get rid of the rest of the spikes. But otherwise, we would have to fight a lot of waves of enemies here. Ooh, that's good, actually. Okay, nice. We'll take that any day. Any run, we'll take that. Yes, we get a little cutscene here. But yeah, we made it. So I just need to run over and trigger this to spawn these enemies in. Fortunately, we got lots of sniper ammo left. So this will be pretty simple. There we go. Nice. So that'll lower those spikes, and we're good. That's the gauntlet. Okay, so for the rest of the game, we have a few things to get through still before the final boss, but we're just about there. So we got the double keeper fight here. I have way more magnum ammo than I need. So I actually didn't need to pick up the extra drops. This is the last thing we need it for. But we might as well just blast them then, I guess. There we go. Okay. Alright, so fun fact, you can also skip the dialogue here.
You.
do that to speed that section up a little bit. Okay, we need to get over there where the bright light is under the huge the eyeball. Gotta get to this little maze section. So the biggest hazard here are those beams of light because they will teleport you back to the beginning of the maze. And that is obviously very slow, so we don't want that to happen. This looks fine, nice. All right, we're gonna use this flash bolt to take out this whole group of eyeballs right here. Oh, okay, it did not hit all of them. That's fine. I got one more flash bolt. That can happen sometimes, or it won't hit all of them. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's getting weird. All right, there we go. That's basically the maze. Got to run away from this big spike thing. This game really likes spikes, if you can tell already. Cool. Okay, yeah, from this point on, we do not need any ammo. So I'm probably gonna waste a lot of it in this elevator here. It's actually, I do get that question a lot during runs. Why are you wasting all your ammo in the elevator here? Especially, you know, because the final boss is coming up. But like I said, we aren't gonna need it. Gives you something to do anyway. I also like if you mash this fast enough, he actually shoots it before he even like puts the gun back forward. Yeah. Alright, so after we skip a few more cutscenes here, we're going to be in the final boss. So for the first section, we just have to survive. Ruvik will kill us in one hit if we get hit by any of his hands, if he grabs us. So we just got to avoid that. It's not too hard. It's the same pattern every time. You just got to not mess it up, basically. Alright, one more cutscene to skip after we fly through this window here. And one more here after we fall down. Yeah, this ending sequence is insane, by the way, if you haven't seen it before. I'll just let it... It kind of speaks for itself. Sebastian really gets messed up here, too. He's not having a good time. Okay. Alright, this part is also pretty much exactly the same. It's the same pattern, you just gotta run around. I actually don't even know if you can die in this room. And maybe if you wait long enough you will, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, so we gotta use the turret here. Ideally, we can just target his head. He will also kill us if we don't shoot his hands if we take too long here, but if we're fast enough, we can just focus on this. There we go, that was good. Alright. Now we have the rocket launcher section. Probably this is by far the most ridiculous part of the entire game. I mean, like, how are you not just dead here, right? I think a lot of people their first playthroughs just assumed they were dead. This is a death screen or something. But no, we're good. You know, we're chilling even. Yes, we also got a rocket launcher here conveniently. Yeah, so that's gonna be important. We do need to hit him in the head once to kill him here. I am gonna go for a quick kill. It's not like insanely likely that I'll get it, but I'll still try it. If you aim here roughly and wait a little bit and then shoot, it'll hit him right as he puts his head down. Okay, I missed by a little bit. That's fine. Okay, so we just need to do a couple body shots here to stun him. There's 1, 2. And then we just line this up. Do 1 headshot. Wow, no way that missed. Oh no, because he moved a little bit. Okay, we gotta do this again, that's fine. Same thing, you just gotta stun him. There we go. Okay, this one has to hit. There's no way this misses. Okay. There we go. Okay, that was silly. All right. Final part of the boss fight. He's still alive, by the way. Don't worry about it. It's fine. That's all good. Okay. So this part's very straightforward. We just got to do the 1 pistol shot. On Rubik here. You will die if you miss, but it's not too bad. Nice. All right. That is not time yet. Time is going to be when we smash the brain here. We got like a minute left, roughly. So just want to say, first of all, thanks for watching. It's been a blast learning this run over the past year-ish or more, and diving deeper into it, you know, and just trying to push it as far as we can. It's super fun with all the zips and everything. I hope it's been fun to see that as well. It's a really crazy glitch, and really breaks the game wide open, which is super fun. So yeah, like I said, we're coming up on time here, so we're gonna come up, grab the brain, smash it down, and then walk forward. And once we press the input to stomp on it, that'll be time.
You cannot keep me here.
So we're gonna just stumble forward here. We can't really speed up our movement here. We're just kind of slow.
I'm going to finish this.
Grab this. Alright, yes, we're gonna walk forward. Time is in a couple seconds here. And time. Alright. Let's go. That was very, very solid. Besides a couple like minor things, having to redo battery skip and stuff, that went super well. So awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I could still do this run for the offline version of Shots Fired here. I hope you all enjoyed the run. It was a lot of fun getting to show off this trick. I was like showing off this game. It's been great. So
No one can.
yeah, I'll skip this cutscene when we can. It'll show us the it won't show us the final in-game time because we started from chapter 2, but it'll still show like the results screen or whatever at the end here. So yeah, that's Evil Within, New Game Plus, any%. I've been SharkHat87. You can find me at SharkHat87 on Twitch. Been grinding this game recently, but I run lots of other horror games and stuff. So if you want to check me out, that's where I'll be. That's what I'm doing. And make sure you stick around for the rest of the marathon. And thanks again for watching. That's all I got. Have a good one.